So I decided to give up that big salary and do my own thing.
What sort of mindset did you have to have that shift?
The biggest mind shift, I think, was, I had a mortgage on our home and we had quite a few investment properties and 2 young kids, and I guess a lot of debt. I was very heavily involved in property investment, so I knew a lot of property managers, a lot of property investors. And I had come up with the idea, basically, that I would be a one-stop shop for them.
Mark Trafford is a successful businessman, building 4 businesses, including a networking business spanning the North Island of New Zealand, and a multi-million-dollar construction franchise business with over 12,000 clients.
If you want to scale a business in New Zealand, franchising or licensing is an awesome way to do it. And from there, over the course of the last 12 years, we went from just one business to 13 licenses.
What do you think really made the expansion work and the growth work?
Becoming front and centre of the business. I write a lot of Herald articles, One Roof stuff. We've done a television series. We had Israel Dagg and Stephen Donald, 2 pretty awesome ex-All Blacks, on the show with us. We raised $1.2 million to renovate 8 sports clubs. Unfortunately, sometimes things change and, you get those big roadblocks that you didn't expect, or the train wrecks. That was probably the biggest challenge in my personal life.
How did you navigate it from a mental health point of view?
I didn't, actually. I didn't cope very well at all.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the podcast. Thank you for choosing to click on this video. I believe that you're going to get a lot of value out of it. And what I want from you, and I'd love from you, is one little thing. To please hit subscribe, because that will help our channel so much and it's going to help us be discovered. And we're promising that if you hit subscribe, then we're going to work really hard to make sure that our episodes get better and better, and you're not going to be disappointed. So thank you for stopping by and enjoy the episode. And all I can think about now is, how did you scale a renovation business to 13 what do you call them?
Licenses. Very similar.
And it's such a small market. But before you start that, I would love to know what it is and, why would someone even consider it?
Yep. Look, MTP is a renovations and maintenance company. It has a diverse range of clients, firstly. Absolutely amazing systems and processes and end-to-end, which all good license or franchise systems need to have. That's what people are paying for. So when you're buying a license or a franchise, you're buying the brand, so the brand out in the market, and I talked about that before with how we get the brand out far and wide. You're buying the systems that the business uses, because you haven't got systems often, or you don't know what they are. You're buying the processes. What is the process from getting a new client to a repeat client? You're buying the intellectual property, so everything to do with that franchise and what they've done in our case over the last 17 years. And you're buying an insight into their customer base. And I think an opportunity into their customer base, one of the really good benefits of MTP is, yes, we do renovations for homeowners. So if Mina's looking for a new kitchen or a new bathroom, or to extend her house, or build a home office, or renovate or make your house bigger, that's fine. We can do all of that. We're really good at that. We do probably 1,200 of those a year. But we also do a lot of maintenance work, and we're very strong in the residential property investor market. So we can renovate a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house for an investor in 4 weeks, top to bottom, and give them the key back for a fixed price. So we have a very strong client base of all of your major residential property management companies, Ray White's, Barfoot and Thompson, Harcourt's, Bailey's. They're all our clients, along with a raft of individual or privately owned companies as well. We also deal with commercial property managers, Bailey's and Barfoot's and all those guys as well, and a lot of body corporates. But we also have maintenance contracts with companies like BP, Air New Zealand, but we don't work at Auckland Airport, but we don't work at the airport. We provide noise solutions for all the houses around the airports. So we create packages for companies that help them. We do work for early child care centres like Best Start, who have 165 child care centres nationwide. We do work for people, all different types of company. Kāinga Ora, we do small works for them. So we have a wide range of clients. We're not just pigeonholed into renovations. So I guess the advantage for people in buying into what we do is they've got an opportunity to work within all of this, and then they decide what parts of it they're good at and what they can do. A lot of companies a lot of franchises will split that, so they'll have a renovations division and you can only do renovations. They'll have a maintenance division and you can only do maintenance. We believe in giving business owners the biggest opportunity they can, because when times are tough, and they have been, interest rates are high, property prices come down, everything costs more, including food, petrol. You need to be able to get business from everywhere, because it's survival mode at that stage for some people. So that's what we do, and I guess that's the opportunity that people see. And it's a reasonably easy business to scale, because you can, you don't need to be a builder. We've got some owners that are husband and wife builders. We've got some owners that are, I've got a guy who was a international diving manager. He'd run 15 divers off the deep sea somewhere, and I've got guys that were IT guys that are very good at project management. So
it is interesting, because when a husband and wife business, I'm sure some people listening going, well, we're in a husband and wife business. Hopefully that's not going to happen to us. Things happen though, and challenges come through. What sort of advice or wisdom do you have for them?
After that, I swore that I would never go into business with my wife or my partner, and now Melanie and I are business partners, although it's a completely different structure and setup than what we had before. My advice to people is, it doesn't matter whether you're in business with your husband or wife or your partner. If you're in business with someone else or other people, it's like a marriage. So I'll give you an example of that. My construction company, my business partner has been with me for 13 years. We own two businesses together, the licensor business and one of the licenses. We are like a married couple. We were friends before that, but we are like a married couple. If one of us is having a bad day, then the other one just keeps out of the way. We have arguments, we have disagreements, we have really good times. We have a lot of fun together. Our families have grown up together. But it doesn't matter who you're in business with. That's a partnership, and that is a marriage, whether you like it or not. The only thing I would say to people is, whatever business you're in, have a really good shareholders agreement, have really clear job descriptions and roles and responsibilities. And make sure that if something happens in your business, that there is a clear path of exit for whoever you're in business with, so that the business doesn't fail. Because a lot of people have debt on their businesses and it will pull them down. We didn't have any debt, luckily, only the people that we owed money to. We hadn't borrowed money to start a business. We'd plugged a laptop in a bedroom and grown it from there, and then got office space and done it quite well. So we didn't have debt, but most people have some debt on their businesses.
It is an interesting story and quite incredible, and thank you for sharing the realities.
That's okay.
Of business and the realities of life, and having and a good advice, I think, with regards to husband and wife businesses coming together and making sure that things are clear. Can we get back to scaling your business?
Sure.
Scaling and start. You've talked about starting. You talked about having a little spare bedroom somewhere in your home.
Yep. So that's exactly what we did. We started, plugged a laptop in, which we shared.
And this is back. Sorry,
this
back
is
in
back in 2007
in
in my original construction business. And literally, I would do a couple of hours work in the morning, and then I would go out and I would do the sales calls, and I would meet the clients, and I would do all those things. And then, I would take the kids to school, and then my wife would do the accounts and the invoices and the quotes and things through the day. And then I would go and pick the kids up, and I would check the quotes and all those things. And so it ran literally out of a tiny little bedroom, half the space of this, for quite some time, probably for about 3 years before we decided that we needed to employ someone else.
Right.
And so we got a small upstairs unit from somebody. We subleased an upstairs unit and had somebody else come into the business as well on a part-time basis. And we grew the business year on year. When it fell apart, interestingly enough, my business partner for the last 13 years had worked for me as a salesperson, and then had left to go and do a national sales role for the flooring industry. And we'd stayed really good friends. And he came to me and said, Mark, do you want to sell half of your business? And I said, I don't know if I want to be in business with anybody again. And he said, but I know that you're passionate about growing the business and licensing it and being this national brand, or this big brand. I think we could do that together. And that's when the scale really started. So he joined me, and he has amazing. I have this. I don't know if it's an ability, but it's like a sixth sense to pick people around me in business that complement me.
That's awesome. I want to zone in on that, if you like now or after you've done your story, but I want to zone in on that at some point.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
So, and from there, over the course of the last 12 years, we went from just one business to 13 licenses, and a really significant turnover, well above $10 million. And, we have about 400 companies that subcontract to our brand across the North Island and New Zealand, and that's exciting because we're providing a lot of work and opportunity for people in construction in New Zealand. We've got about 12,000 clients, and that scale really came from my original vision of saying, okay, we're going to be this, and then having the ability of people like my business partner to, implement all of those things and to work on systems and processes. If you want to scale a business in New Zealand, franchising or licensing is an awesome way to do it.
What do you think really made the expansion work and the growth work well? What are some of the things that you've done that...
For me, becoming front and center of the business, becoming the almost the face of the brand. So I still do a lot of it. I write a lot of Herald articles, One Roof stuff. We've done a television series a couple of years ago that we raised $1.2 million to renovate 8 sports clubs across New Zealand. And, we had Israel Dagg and Stephen Donald, 2 pretty awesome ex-All Blacks, on the show with us. My business partner fronted that show, which was really good. But you have to push your brand to the next level all the time. And if you can do that, more people see you. And then opportunities come. So now we do a lot of work in sports clubs across New Zealand. That came out of that TV series. And the articles that I write for those publications, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people see them on a Saturday or a Sunday when they pick up the Herald. If I write an article, I'll get all these texts on a Sunday. People say, your face is in the Herald again, And it's actually lovely. I love it. But, I always write about the company and the brand. But they're always articles, and it's always information for people. So you're not trying to sell them anything. You're trying to help them with whatever they're doing, which in this case is generally renovating their homes. So how can we help them? I do a lot of seminars with people. I cross-pollinate a lot. So I did a seminar with New Zealand's leading property investment coach. I've done 2 this year, but I did one about 5 weeks ago. There were 400 people in the room, and he put them all in the room. I just turned up and spoke.
So clearly you have one-to-one versus one-to-many.
One-to-many, always one-to-many. What can I do, or what can the brand do to get out as wide and as far as possible? So if you want growth, you have to touch as many, whatever they're called, as you can, And I guess the other luxury that I have is that through my networking business in the last 13 years, I've met thousands of business owners. So I've built all of these relationships, secondary relationships, through those people like yourself, where I get to talk to them, grow their business and grow my business. And I always try to get a win-win with people. What's going to win for you and what's going to win for us? Because that's what we really want. So our growth has really come through pushing that brand out as far and as wide as we can.
Quite a key marketing tip, which kind of a lot of business owners get distracted by the daily grind of the work and don't think about these things maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I look at what I spend on. I have a real bugbear with social media, but particularly with Google ads and SEO. I look at what we spend per annum on Google and SEO.
Yeah.
And then I look at my time, which I have a dollar value on, and what business comes in through what I do for the brand compared to what we spend, and it's way more than what we get from Google. I'm not saying you shouldn't be on Google. I think you have to in the modern world.
Yeah.
But it's my time, and I'm getting to a whole heap more people.
Yes. So what is the one marketing exercise that works really well for you?
Collaborations. Collaborations. So find people that complement your business and run workshops or seminars or do webinars. I did a webinar for this same guy. I've done 2 of those as well before the event, and I think there were 1,200 people on the webinar.
Yeah.
So I'm tapping into 1,200 of his clients that are all looking to do things with houses.
And how do you land people are probably thinking, going, how do I get there? How do I
build
find
those relationships?
Yeah.
Find those people. I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about networking anyway, but seek out those people in the room. When you go into a room full of people and you're networking, know who's in the room. Hopefully they've got a badge on, but ask for a list or get a list or look at who's in the room and figure out 1 or 2 of those people that you're going to focus in on, and try and get a relationship and some follow-up with them that they see and you see is going to be a win-win. And then try to cultivate business for both off the back of that, and then do that as many times as you can.
The people who you're talking about having media articles and exposure and even TV series. I mean, these are great marketing ways to push your brand and things like that. So, how did you land those? How did you land
find a communications person who has the contacts,
right?
And it's not that difficult. So,
So you went and found someone who's...
I was lucky because when I first started my business, I started networking in an international networking organisation and did very well from that. And one of the guys that was sitting in the room was a communications expert, and I'm still very close with him. And so he would write stories for me or write articles and send them out to all his publishers. And then we would get hits, and they would say, oh, can I interview Mark on this? Can I interview Mark on that? And then after 2 or 3 years, they would just come directly to me. So, if Diana Clement at the Herald wants, or One Roof or whoever she's writing for, or whatever magazine, wants an article, she just comes to me now because I'm on a list of people that she can get good quality content from that's reliable and it's current. So find somebody who does content writing that has relationships with publishers. They're out there. They're very easy to find, and get them to write articles for you or small blogs, and get them to send them to those people.
It took some time for you though, like to develop those relationships.
But it doesn't stop. It doesn't. The relationship doesn't stop though, does it? So it's once you've got that relationship with those people, they just keep coming back.
So it's been a pleasure to have you, and I wish you all the best, of course, in every endeavour you have.
Thank you for having me. It's been great talking to you.
Of course, likewise. Thank you.